GM, my fellow Degens. Welcome to another episode of Paint Shows. I am Gramajo, and today I'm joined by Mondoggg, the co-founder and creator of Alphadoggg. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. Thanks.
Cool. Well, thanks again for doing this, Mondoggg. Let's start with you. Who is Mondoggg?
I guess I've been in the NFT space now for, I've been used to saying a year and then a year and a half, and now it feels like we're almost at 2 years. Just time's flying by so fast right now. I've always been working at a computer. I'm like a web developer by profession, and I kind of started collecting NFTs and kind of a mix between art and PFP NFTs in July 2021, which feels like forever ago now. I started collecting and trading, kind of really found a love of art, something that people ask me. I had never really bought art other than a few pieces for my house before this, and slowly just kind of got to know a lot of different artists and like made a lot of connections in the space. And so we created Alphadoggg a year ago now. So we're in 2 weeks now. We'll be at the 1 year mark since we launched, which is crazy. So I can't believe we've had our project for as long as we have. And then kind of around that 1 year mark, we're going to be launching our PFP collection, Degen Civilization. So kind of a lot of stuff happening in the early April timeframe.
Yeah. No, it's time has flown, and definitely time flies in the NFT space. You got started almost over close to 2 years now. I know for like some of the people that probably don't follow you or haven't been following you for a while, I think you said you've mentioned that like when you got into NFTs, you kind of just went all in, and it's been kind of going crazy since then. Like you just had like some good wins along the way. What did you mean by kind of going all in? I know you've said it to me, but for other people, just so they know like how bullish you were on NFTs like early on.
Yeah, I mean, call it bullish, call it crazy. But yeah, I started buying Bitcoin. The very first time was back in 2017, and then I sold because I didn't really believe in it because I didn't understand it. And then obviously all the kind of shitstorm happened of 2018. And like I was so out of the loop that I thought like crypto was dead, like the news kind of suggests whenever there's a big dip. But yeah, kind of summer of 2019, I got back into it through some friends who were like, and still are huge like Bitcoin maxis. I started buying Bitcoin, and like I've told a few people this, but like my first deposit, I put it I'd saved up a bunch of money, and I put in like $3,000, which is the most I could transfer into my exchange. I bought like basically $2,900 worth of Bitcoin, and then I decided to buy one ETH, which was like $100 at the time. And so in the end, like over a few different transfers, I ended up like securing a full Bitcoin, which is just under around $10,000, and one ETH. And I really wish I had done it the other way and got like 100 ETH instead of my one Bitcoin at the time. But that's a whole nother story. So like I was just kind of collecting. I never really, I'd heard of, but never got into NFTs. I was just kind of slowly accumulating Bitcoin over kind of a 2 year period. And then something kind of clicked, and I kind of through a network of friends, I kind of found NFTs through initially it was through Gary V's Insane Ape, like Punk Ape purchase, because I was just thinking of how insane it was that somebody would spend that much money on an NFT, and I thought it was crazy. I thought NFTs were just like Jack Dorsey's tweet and things like that. And then I kind of discovered the space on like a Saturday morning, and like by the Monday, like every dollar I had in crypto and any money that I could invest was buying crypto so I could buy more NFTs. There's like a light or like a switch kind of flicked in my head, and I just started collecting.
Yeah, that's it's funny how it's like a slippery slope like that too. Like you I was against NFTs for quite some time as well, and then once it clicked hard, and then I was putting almost every single available dollar that I had, instead of putting it in stocks, I was putting it in.
I know. I really wish I had
into
found it
NFTs.
like two months earlier, and then could have gotten into the apes at 1 ETH instead of like 10, but still 10 was good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in retrospect, 10 ETH, I think anybody would take that deal to this day.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get into NBA Top Shot at all, or?
No, it was before my time. So yeah, I have like I think the people that I first kind of connected with in the space, like all I heard were negative things, and so I never even did my research. I still couldn't even tell you what it is. Like I've like literally never even explored it in any way. Like I couldn't describe it to somebody. I've just never explored it.
Yeah, no worries. It's when I was talking to Aldo, I know he got started in NBA Top Shot, and that was kind of the big first thing, other than like Moomcats. That was the other project that I kind of heard, like just kind of as a casual person, was NBA Top Shot, and it kind of made sense a little bit in my head, like okay, it's like an NFT of like like a video or a GIF of like an eventful thing during sports, and it's like sports trading card and all that, so it kind of all clicked. That wasn't really what got me over the hump for some reason. I think it was something. I think for me it was like Des Craniums or the Craniums as a whole. Just seeing Steve Aoki going nuts, and now it's kind of like a meme. Steve Aoki.
Oh yeah. It's funny how all it takes is something that you resonate with. Like it's just like it's funny because the initial community that I found when I kind of found NFTs, like there's only one member of that community I talk to anymore. I've kind of like disconnected and disassociated from a lot of them. A bunch of them are huge funk proponents. So that was kind of back when kind of the funks were fun and cool before they kind of went a bit the other way. So yeah, I've like my whole initial community that I had in the NFT space completely kind of disbanded over all that, which is funny. But yeah, it's all about finding something that you resonate with and like you understand could have value. And so that's why it's hard to explain to a lot of people. Like a lot of people get art and they understand why art has value. Like they don't understand why like a DK could go for 100 ETH and like why that would be over like other artists. And I can't explain that half the time. But once you find something that does make sense to you as like whether it's a collectible or art, like it's really hard to not want to invest in NFTs. And it's like, and that's why I've had so much trouble like introducing friends to the space, because I've kind of pushed things that I would believe in, which maybe wouldn't have been the right thing for them, and or they didn't buy at the right time. And like almost nobody that I've got in has actually made money in the space because they're not active enough and they're not buying things and they just don't understand the space enough.
Yeah, that's super true. Yeah, it has to be something that you kind of gravitate towards. I think the closest I got to getting one of my friends into NFTs was, say what you will about the project or whatever, but he's really into Gundam, as am I, like Gunpla and stuff like that. And Mechas was actually the first project he was like willing to just throw money at it because he's like, yeah, this looks like Gundam on roids. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, like the art previews were really cool. Like I think they got a lot more shade than they deserved. Like I get that a lot of them look the same, but I think that happens with anything that's not like a human or animal PFP, just because they're robots. I don't think they deserve the shade that they got, but that's what happens. Like I think two of my friends that I got into NFTs bought G-Vols at like 0.5 or 0.6, and so they're down pretty bad right now. But I mean, like again, like it's hard to bet against Kid 8. I love Kid 8's art. I love like a lot of the stuff that he does. It just like that collection just didn't take off the way that I still think it should deserve to with the diehard community and everything. It's just like one of those collections that just doesn't. I don't know. It just didn't do what I expected.
So going back to one of the comments, and we'll kind of continue with some of the other questions. But what was that project for you initially that got you into NFTs? I think you've mentioned kind of like you need to find something that resonates with you. What was that thing for you?
It's funny because, like, I mean, for me, it was the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like that, like like I understood the value. I saw the community. I got like why people would have faith in it. But like that's the collection that made me want to buy. But it's like, funnily enough, like it's never been the collection that I was a huge member of the community for. Like, sure, like I rocked an 8 PFP. Like I bought my first ape at 9. I sold at 13. I got my second one at 10, and I sold at 85. Like I held that one for like 7 months. And obviously I sold just a few months too early. But I can't complain. And yeah, it's like there was a lot of ups and downs. Like I think like Lucrece was actually like one of the turning points for me in like the NFT space, like where I went from like finding these crappy projects that I thought could go from 0.1 to 0.5 or something like that, to like finding an artist that like I knew could be like Disney level, like absolutely mass appeal, like nobody doesn't like his art. Like I think that was one of my real turning points. Like I bought my first monster for 2 ETH in it was either early September or late August, so it was like within a month. There was that, and then also the Boring Ape Chronicles, so Timper's work. I think like the third NFT I ever bought was it was actually the Boring Ape Chronicles #2, and then I bought #1 afterwards, so I could make sure that I got all the other ones on primary. And those paid off huge, getting access to the Genesis and to chippers and everything involved. So yeah, it's like the real thing, like kind of, yeah, I'd say those, like everything to do with Timbers and everything to do with Lucrece were kind of the two kind of things that really especially brought me into the art space and kind of discovering artists. Like that's how I found like Shaka, Liquid Density, like a ton of artists that I've met are all through the Monster Discord.
Yeah, no, it's epic, and it's funny hearing, now I think, the podcast is for like reflecting on Alphadoggg in the past year, and hearing those names, it's like, it's easy to see now, like those connections and how those threads kind of intertwine, and how you got to launching Alphadoggg, which we will jump into for sure. So I think from there you made a ton of connections and all that. What made you kind of want to like launch your own Discord server, and then kind of like then leading up to what made you want to launch into the Alphadoggg project itself?
Yeah, it's funny. The whole process of like initially launching the Discord was just like I thought it'd be a fun thing to do, to get a group of people together and chat about NFTs. Like when I first set up the Discord, it was like November or December. Like it was of like 2021. Like it was very early on, and like we kind of set it up. Like we had kind of like very, very quickly we kind of started our Tezos Artist of the Month, trying to kind of introduce people to more artists, and that kind of what expanded into Alphadoggg. But like kind of the turning point from the Discord into like creating Alphadoggg was really like we saw what Proof was doing. We saw that they had their large group of like Proof Pass holders, and the value that seemed to be kind of like attributed to the pass and like the alpha and like every aspect of being in that Discord. And we really felt that the connections that like the Birds and I had through the artists that we met in the space, we could do something that was kind of like what Proof Grails was doing, but like a dedicated pass that would introduce people to artists, and would bring like the best art in the NFT space into one spot. And in the end, there's now a bunch of different projects that have kind of used the model that we built. And it took us a while to fine tune it. Like me and Lucrece actually, like we were on the phone for like 4 hours one day, going over how it could work and like what wouldn't work with the system. And he was a huge help in creating what is Alphadoggg now, and like the mechanics of it and how it all works, the size. Like initially we were going to have a lot more tokens, like a lot more passes and like more like Proof, but we really didn't want high editions and we didn't want a lot of raffles. So we figured 100 was the only way we could do that and like create the tighter community. So yeah, it's like there was a lot that happened to kind of create like Alphadoggg and what it is now. But yeah, the artists that we met along the way were the only reason that we were able to ever do it. Yeah. Long story short.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Was it's so crazy that Des is like, not saying you're not smart either, but like Des is like, you can see
he's really smart.
Like
Very
even
smart.
just like with the jack or whatever, he's very forward thinking, and just like some of those mechanics that he comes up with are genius for sure. So that's awesome to hear. Yeah, was he the first artist that you signed for Alphadoggg?
Yeah, he was, and like he was the first one, and then it's like, hey, we have Des. Like, do you like we're doing this, and like it kind of started off as like a name drop. And then, but he also like introduced me to a bunch of people like Tiffatron and Marlowe and a bunch of other artists. And like I reached out to them, like being like, "Hey, Des told me to reach out. Like I've been looking at your work, but like I hadn't collected either of them at the time or a number of other artists. And it just kind of built like it's like I sent so many DMs to artists, and like fortunately, like it's one of those chicken or the egg things. Like I couldn't have gotten to the point where I was able to message all these artists if I didn't have the following that I did, because for one, you just can't reach out to these artists as easily with like and just send these cold DMs. Like they kind of have to know that you're like actually serious and you're like a collector and you're in the space. So everything kind of worked out like perfectly, like per se, like yeah. It's I still I'm blown away by the response from artists, everyone who wanted to be on board, the response from collectors. Like we were worried about selling out originally, and then we couldn't believe how quickly we filled up the spots and like how many people wanted to be on board. Like, and then those connections of collectors, like I had an hour-long call with Cribberat yesterday, just to chat through Degen Civilization and kind of the overall plan for it and everything there. So everything's coming full circle. Everyone that's been involved as a collector or as an artist is kind of it's just a really, really good space with a lot of really good people that like to bring each other up.
Let's see. So going back to kind of Alphadoggg and you cold DMing people and all that, what are some of the lessons that you've learned as a team or you individually for year one of Alphadoggg?
I mean, I think the initial lesson is don't plan so far ahead because it's hard to pivot. Like I still can't, like other like collections like ours are already in their like third version or of their season of their passes. Like we started as a 2-year pass because that's what Proof did, and we thought it was a good model. We felt it was longer and better. And I mean, honestly, I'm like I probably wouldn't even change it now because everything's worked out. We have our collectors, we have everything lined up, and like the market. Fortunately, like it's been a lot harder to reach out to artists when the market's been tough than it was reaching out to artists last February and March when the market was good. A lot more people were more. I mean, maybe it's because it was a new thing and people hadn't heard, but it's I'm really glad that we kind of locked down our year one and most of our year two as early as we did, because it's been really hard to like approach people in this market. But we also needed to like remain flexible so that new artists that kind of became bigger like could fit in some way. So it's kind of been a challenge kind of making that happen, kind of making both of those things happen.
Yeah, totally. Because the space moves so quickly, like you said. Like it moves like in 1 month increments at tops or something like that, and then the meta changes so quickly from there. Adding the new artists is hard, and no one's dropped out really, which is kind of great, I would say. Everyone that you've announced has came through.
Yeah, we only had one. We only had one change, and Bongdo jumped in. It ended up being perfect timing. Like it was somebody that we wanted to bring in for year 3, and we were able to bring him in sooner, and everything worked out. It's just one of those things where, like, we have a lot of connections with a lot of artists, and like I would love to be able to do like 5 drops a month and bring in like every artist that like we know in the space and could do this. But I mean, there's also been a huge blessing of spreading it out and and just kind of how everything's roadmapped. Like, I mean, it might have been nice to maybe not reveal all the artists as early, because like then we could keep more of a surprise and keep like not like have too many of our. I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter. Like it's nice to reveal all of our artists and show that like we're planning for the long term. We're here for the long term, and we have the support of all these people.
Yeah, it's kind of like a catch-22, you know, like if you don't reveal too much, then people don't see that work that you're putting in behind the scenes. But then you also kind of lose some of that anticipation or hyper speculation almost.
Yeah, it's like when we release something new, there's a lot of hype, and like there's more secondary on tags, and like people want to get in, and then like we just continue and fulfill our roadmap, but like the hype isn't there because we're just doing what we said we were going to do. It's like keep it simple and just keep delivering, and like don't overcomplicate it. And like it's like I've heard such good things from our collectors and people that like are happy to collect the art, and like it's like there's not a lot of speculation because we've promised and we've delivered exactly what we promised. So we're just continuing to deliver on that and just keep things simple. And that's kind of what we're focusing on. Is just we're always here, we're always building, but we're not going to promise a million things and deliver half of them. We're gonna lay out exactly what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do it.
Yeah, agreed. I know you mentioned that there's other projects now that are very similar, and I think even the Proof team doubled down on kind of their original vision on recent news. But what are some of those kind of lessons that maybe other projects have done, or like things that other projects have done where like they've had shorter season cycles or whatever? Like, is there anything that you maybe might incorporate into Alphadoggg for potential year 3, or just general changes in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think initially, like, I mean, we know that for after the first 2 years, we're going to do like 1 year passes. We're not going to do the 2 years again. We're just going to keep it 1 year at a time. It makes more sense, and we can keep things kind of more confined. And then like we might switch things up and maybe not do our like the same like limited, keep our signature, but then like maybe take away the limited and do a limited a bit differently, like maybe not have everything announced, have more random and sporadic drops, and just kind of keep like a little bit more versatility that we don't have right now. And it's like both ways work well, and like we've had like a lot of success and incredible artists through kind of both the signature and the limited. I think the biggest thing that we want to make sure is that when we have an opportunity to bring in an artist, like we need to be able to, because right now if we wanted to drop a piece by an artist that like came to us, we can't, like we don't have room to do that in our current setup. So I think just leaving a little bit more room to kind of make some changes will be key for us for year 3.
Yeah, awesome. No, I appreciate that insight. You know, it's there's a lot to go. Like there's a lot that happens managing such a kind of project like this. So appreciate that. What has been the most kind of rewarding aspect for you of Alphadoggg this past year?
I mean, definitely the community, like seeing I was talking to to Comarella about it yesterday, but like it's like the best kept secret of Alphadoggg is the community. Like it's a very close group of people. Like we can't, like everyone says their community is the best, but it's like you don't know what it's like in Discord until you actually have a dog tag, and like getting just very regular messages from our holders, like how happy they are, like even people that aren't like as frequently in Discord or around, like just hearing from people that they're very very happy with the curation, very happy with, like, I mean, obviously the artists have gone above and beyond and delivered incredible work, but it's a mix of like getting like whether we're sharing new projects or finding new artists or even seeing some of our collectors become artists. Like T3 is like he's found like he's really honed his skill in this and like been sharing a bunch of stuff, and he's like kind of become an artist. Like there's just a lot that's happened, and like I'd say the most rewarding has just been the people, and that's kind of, as corny as it is, that's what it's all about.
Nah, it's not corny, man. I know what you mean though. Like it sounds super corny when you say it out loud and all that, but for sure the community's been really good. I mean, I think I got to meet OG in person.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet OG. I'm meeting him in 2 months.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you coming out to California?
No, he's coming to run a Spartan race with me and the Birds. So that'll be fun.
Oh, epic, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna.
Love
Yeah,
that.
I'm very excited. We've been chatting about our training and all that over the last few months, kind of getting ready for it. Yeah, I'm really excited, and it's just somebody that I'm really excited to meet. And being in Canada, having 2 young kids. Like I haven't gone to any of the NFT conferences or met really anybody except for the Birds in person. So I'm very excited to even just meet one more person is going to be fun.
I know what you mean, man. I'm on that struggle. I wanted to go to NFT NYC pretty badly, but
One day.
I think my kid will be like, yeah, exactly. My kid will be like less than 4 months, and that just seems wrong.
I know, that's how I feel. It's like I have like 5-month-old and 2-year-old, and leaving my wife with those 2 so I can go to an NFT conference it's hard to justify. It'll be easier as they get a little bit older, maybe not this spring, but maybe in the fall, just to have a little bit more of a justification. And like with like Degen Civilization, we're gonna have more collectors there than we would with our 100 dog tag holders now. So that's gonna be there's definitely gonna be more to do as well.
Yeah, one day we'll go. We'll meet in person. We'll get a beer or something.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to hear the story on. I know you mentioned it a little bit to me before, kind of via DMs on Discord, but would love to kind of get the story on Terrell Jones and the 1 year, especially since we're approaching it. Pretty stoked to see what he has in store for us. But how did you end up selecting the 1 year reward artist, and how did you even nail that?
I mean, it's going to be the most boring story ever. We're following along really closely. We're trying to figure out somebody that would be kind of really like coming up and like kind of like peak popularity at that time. And like it was I sent he happened to follow me on Twitter, and I sent him a message, and he said sure. He said that sounds awesome. That's the exciting story. It's like it's really not. There's not that much to it. We like his work is incredible. His followers, his collectors are diehard, and we couldn't be happier to have Terrell as our 12-month reward drop. It's gonna be amazing.
With that said, then who was the hardest person to get a hold of then?
I mean, there's a bunch of people that have just not gotten back to me. I mean,
We're still waiting for X copy.
Oh, I know that there's been a lot of yeses, and there's been a lot of nos, and there's been a lot of just like no responses. I mean, the hardest person to get a hold of that we got. Let me think on that. I'm taking a look at the calendars just because I'll be able to answer more easily that way. GY was tough, but more just because it was a longer process. He was very supportive from the get-go, so that wasn't that was one of our big announcements initially with our that we were going to have GY, so that was awesome.
Yeah, and it's not a reflection on them. I know they're probably super busy, and they probably get a ton of messages too.
Yeah. Macbeth was probably the most difficult, to be honest, just because there was no way to reach out, and I needed to get him to follow me before I could message him, and then it was a long process of back and forth where he wasn't available to chat and was traveling, and kind of we were connecting. So that was, in terms of from the time that I first tried to reach out until we kind of got a yes, definitely Macbeth was definitely that. It was and I was really happy when he agreed to not only do one drop but to do two.
Yeah, seriously. Macbeth, that piece is super awesome too, and that OE was on point.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's like one of one quality, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see his next drop. Is he said is his most complicated one. It's like the lady like on the train. It looks incredible, but it's for like cellmates that are staked. They're gonna have the ability to bid, I think, on it. I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna work, but it's gonna be. It looks amazing.
You'll be the first person I play this game with, but I'm calling it like the flip vault burn, which is kind of like the fuck marry kill game. So I'm gonna give you 3 projects. And you're gonna tell me which one you want to flip, which one you want to vault, and which one you want to burn.
Okay.
No disrespect to the projects, we're just trying to have fun. Chimpers, Reckais, and captains.
Yeah, see, this is a really tough one because I've had both. I have to go with the vault. It's so difficult because I really believe in all these projects, and like Chimpers is my long-term vault. Like I have 20 of them. Like I love my Chimpers. They're staked. I recently flipped like 7 captains, but I'm really bullish on them, and I think they're going to be an incredible project. I just saw an opportunity and I flipped a bunch of them from like when they really pumped closer to 60th. I still wish I had a few of them, but I got kind of addicted to taking profits and I sold all of them.
Yeah.
So the only one I don't have, and it's been the longest since I've had, is Reckai. So, I mean, I would love to grab a few. I just don't have any right now. So I think this is the hardest one for me. But yeah, I mean, I guess I would have to say burn for Reckai, but I don't. I would vault it. It's like, I don't know. I like these 3 are really tough. There isn't one that I don't think will do really well long term. They're all different. They're all amazing for their own reasons.
Yeah, this was definitely the hardest one out of all of them, I think.
Yeah.
I tried going for some ones that were kind of like layups, but this one was definitely, I was like, damn, actually, these are...
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah.
All right, so the next one's MFers, Pudgy Penguins. That's a shout out to the birds and creeps.
Yeah. I mean, MFers, I'm still kind of salty with like Sartoshi just kind of doing the OE and dipping. So that's I've been kind of against them since then. So I guess that's an easy burn. Pudgy Penguins, I've never held. Like I was always kind of not overly supportive of Cole, and like I have a lot of trouble disassociating them. But obviously DeBirds loves them, and he's so probably, but I think they'll do really well. So they're probably my vault. And then creeps, like I think creeps could do really big things, but I think they've been way too quiet for way too long. Like I held 2 creeps and a ton of assets for like a year. And when Seed Phrase bought a ton of them and everything pumped, I sold everything. And I'm like, I still think they could do well and they could deliver, but it's just like, I really don't like when projects like have postponed their deliverables because of the market. Like we were all ready to mint the new Creeps collection midsummer. Everything was ready for it. And then they just kind of like went quiet. And like, I really don't support that. And like, I mean, whatever reasons you have, like, I'm just not a huge fan. I think they could do well, but yeah. So I guess that's my flip.
Yeah. And then the last one, the big ones. And it doesn't have to be burned, by the way. It could be like, you got hacked, someone took it.
Yeah.
We're not trying to disrespect projects out here. It's more just like you lost it. So this one, because obviously nobody's going to be burning in either of these, but the big ones, Punks, BYC, and Azuki's. Which one are you flipping, vaulting, and losing via hack?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, I always say like, this is also really, really tough. Like I think Azuki over the next 2 years will gain more as a percentage than the other ones just because they're way undervalued right now. Like Azuki should be 30 to 50 ETH. Like everything that they deliver is always top notch. Like that's one that I wholeheartedly believe in. Like punks and apes, I view them very similarly. Except I view punks as being the 3 to 10 year play, and apes being the 1 to 3 year play. So,
yeah,
like
all blue chips though for sure. Like
all blue chips. Like I think, like if I could only have one of them in my wallet and I couldn't sell it for like 10 years, punk, 100%. If I was like my 1 year play, Azuki for sure. And then obviously like apes, you can't go wrong with apes. Like I sold a significant amount of my PFP collection. I'm in ApeCoin right now, for like my way of getting exposure with the yield. So I'm heavily bullish on all of them. That's also just a really tough one. I don't even have a good answer for that one.
No, yeah, no worries, man. I don't have any of them, so I have zero skin in the game, obviously. I think for me, the one that's been really interesting has been, I mean, I definitely am bullish on punks and kind of the newer ones, I would say, not like one of the older projects. Azuki's definitely, I'm very excited for them.
Yeah,
that's
like
kind of one of the ones I'm
like the
I'm
real
shooting
question for Azuki for me is like, when are they going to start their like halumia ramping? Like when is more going to happen? Because with like beans and Azuki, like it's kind of the market, like especially with blur bidding going down, and if it does go down, depending on kind of what the next like batch of rewards are, like how will they hold up until they deliver more. I know they have a ton going on, it's just a question of when. Punks are basically a stable coin, and apes just move around randomly based on news. They go between 60 and 80 for like very, very quickly, minus now with blur. So it's like if I could only have one, I mean, I'd probably choose an ape for the short term, but I would move into a punk like within 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, punks are awesome. It was great to see Mooncat get that one too.
Yeah, I was really happy to see him get the hoodie. That's the ultimate grail. It's like the grail of the grails.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the grail hoodie, like the hoodie punk. I don't see anything. Like I'd rather have a hoodie punk. I mean, I guess maybe not over a zombie punk, but like there's just something about hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love their hoodies right now.
Yeah.
It's still in meta for sure. Like it hasn't, nobody's like gotten rid of it or don't like it.
Yeah.
So thanks for playing that game with me. I know it's hard. I made that one kind of hard. Appreciate that. So going back to kind of Alphadoggg, let's see. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
All right. Little quick commercial break here. I want to thank today's sponsor, Terra Luna. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have sponsors here. If you're listening through a podcasting app, you could check out the visuals on YouTube. I also want to take a quick moment to talk to you guys about the DGens agreement. This podcast does not run on Reckai, rest in peace. So consider pressing subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps out in bringing more content to you all. Thanks. We will also be giving away a Bitter Bet, which gets you whitelist access to Degen Civilization. So go check out the YouTube video. Now back to the show.
Let me know if you could see it.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, I think like looking back kind of at this collection, and your website definitely has, I've been really digging the visuals. Hopefully people get to see the visuals that you guys have been putting in. I think you said CFW's been
That's all CFW. Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yeah, it's absolutely doing well. And I think I've seen you guys been spending more time kind of with the visuals, which is great. Makes it feel extremely professional. Not that it wasn't before, but I don't know. Some people are pretty visual.
Yeah, it's something like I sent a message to CFW like a month or two ago, and I was like, hey, we need better visuals. Like we need more stuff for tweeting and just more stuff to like keep on brand and keep things going. And he definitely delivered with like our new monthly graphic. And just, I mean, yeah, and then like obviously our year 2 graphic. It's like everything's coming together, and yeah, CFW is just an amazing person.
And CFW did the logo too, right?
Yep. Yes.
Like
yeah,
actual dog tags.
Like yeah, so he did the branding, the logo, the actual dog tag. Like we commissioned him to make that. what we're looking at right now with the calendar. Yeah, he did like everything that you visually see about Alphadoggg was created by him.
Yeah, no, it's really good stuff. Yeah, so the next kind of similar game to a little bit or a little different, but mostly specific to Alphadoggg, and it's just to see. Obviously, all these are great pieces here. If you had .3 ETH, which of these pieces are you minting? Assuming the whole collection is available to you, you know what they look like, and it's at Alphadoggg price.
Okay, so I'm minting at primary prices. Okay, that's interesting.
You're minting at primary, exactly. And the whole thing's available to you know what they look like. You can even go with the rewards too if you want. No worries. But which I just kind of want to know which are your top 3 favorites, or which ones kind of speak to you the most.
I mean, definitely Ryan Talbot. That piece is just phenomenal. It's like emotional for like he took a really big break when he was making it because his dog Winston passed away, and that was really, really, really difficult for him. So
yeah,
like that emotional aspect of that, and like that piece is just, it's a very, very special piece. Like my biggest NFT purchase in art was my one of one by Ryan Talbot. Everything he does has like a special place for me, so that's definitely there.
Super talented too. That OE as well bounces.
Oh yeah, and then announcing today that there will be a burn for it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, I mean, like Tempers and Jake's piece are both like, I love those. Man, they're all so good. Like it's honestly so difficult. Like the artists have really gone above and beyond on these. Now, and with Tempers doing his kind of like the game based on like a kind of another version, like a similar version of that piece. But yeah, and then Jake's here with like kind of the different, like the squiggle and like kind of the X copy. Like there's a lot of like degen aspects to it.
Yeah, Jake's piece is definitely one of my favorites, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's the most expensive right now in the collection, like on secondary, which makes sense. That or the Des. Yeah, like, and then like 8080, his like Cerberus, and like that whole month, mm-hmm. What is real, Cerberus, and then Pearl Tune, they're all like, I absolutely love those. Like it would be hard to only get like 3 pieces on primary. Like there's so many incredible pieces in this collection. Like C3, like I bought one for like 0.17, which I think is a great price for a C3. Period. Like I bought a piece in secondary last week because I really wanted the C3.
Yeah. No, this is my first C3, and yeah, definitely a good price, like you said, for a C3 on ETH too and everything. Yeah,
because like all my other C3 is only on LooksRare because it's not available on OpenSea. So I wonder if OpenSea knew that he was the artist, if they would take it down. I don't know if they could because we minted it, but like that's just something like, it's like, yeah, it's must be one of the only C3 pieces you can get on OpenSea.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts that it's unfortunate that that's how they're approaching it.
It's crazy. But yeah, and like the CFW, I love the detail in that piece. It's just phenomenal. Like Tiffatron's piece, it's like that was like her second, I think, animated piece she'd done at the time, and now she's really incorporated it into her style. It's like I feel like every time we get a new piece from an artist, we're like, wow, that's like our new favorite piece in the collection. And then it's like we get another one, and we're like, holy crap, like that's our new favorite piece. Like it just, I can't wait to see the like Louis Ponce like on Friday. I'm not sure when we're gonna get it, but I'm very, very excited for that one.
That's gonna be insane. I've been looking forward to that one, but I fully agree with you on all these being absolutely amazing.
Like even the quality
this,
of like the
one's super sneaky.
It's crazy. But like even the quality of like the Rembrandt ones, like the original file sizes of those, like they're meant to be printed in insanely large, like in large format. Like they're incredible, like incredibly detailed paintings.
Yeah, you could tell actually. I had to resize some of these just to make it work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
like I had to decompress them and all that because there was too much gas in all of them.
It's wild. And they're all different formats, different. It's really cool seeing like the artists deliver like such a wide variety of pieces in these collections. Like they're coming together. Like I remember when we minted the first piece, like the like Alpha Walk, when that piece was there, I was like, wow, I wonder what this collection is going to look like in a year. And like I love looking through the collection. And like Branded Mighty had only done a few like super rare drops on ETH. It was mostly on Tez, and now he's like really kind of gaining popularity with his new like Death and the Cat collection. I forget what it's called, but he's like Branded Mighty's really like kind of like blowing up popularity on ETH, which is really good to see. And that piece is incredible.
Yeah, that piece is great.
He actually makes he's written some really good children's books. Like some of my kids' favorite ones are by him. No way. I would recommend ordering some when your kid's a bit older and you're going to be reading stories.
Yeah. I need to check that out then. Yeah, we're looking. I'm building up a collection of kids' books right now in Spanish and English for my kids. So.
You'll get a lot. And you read the same ones every night.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Appreciate you playing that as well with me. And it is crazy. I look at this constantly just to
thanks for putting this together. It's like.
Not a problem. I mean, I like your guys' visual, like with the names and all that, but sometimes people want to see the thing itself. So I've just been updating this on the side just for those that want to see it visually, they can see it visually as well, all in one go. And it has all the links, so it takes them to the right place and all that. Yeah, let's jump back into this year 2. Let's talk about year 2. So for year 2, obviously year 1, we're approaching the end, and I think I'm going to be doing a giveaway for Bitter Bep, which has some implications with Degen Civilization, which we'll jump into in a second. But looking at year 2's already looking absolutely crazy and fantastic.
Yeah, it is crazy. I was just reading through it all just to get ready for this, and I'm like, wow, like I forgot how good the lineup is.
Yeah, like I did not know Jeremy Booth was. I mean, I think I did. I know, but like it's crazy when you actually like start writing it down, or when you put it down.
When we got him for this, he was like not like a large enough. Like he wouldn't have been a signature at that time. Like that's how much things have changed for Jeremy Booth since then. Like
yeah, and he's blown up now.
Blown up, and like we've been kind of discussing like that's going to be an insane limited drop. Like that and like Rip Cash. Like, oh boy, I'm oh
my god!
That, like I've had so many people message me asking me how we can rig the Rip Cash for them, and I just tell them like, nope. And people suggesting things and like how it's like nope, like we can't change the mechanics right now. It's luck of the draw.
Oh my god! Yeah, Kevbot right there. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding, Kevbot. If he is listening to this at some point. Yeah, no, this is an insane lineup for sure. Like, which one are you, like, again, you don't have to pick like favorites, but which ones are you kind of excited for, I'd say?
Michael Kuch is going to be, I think that's how you say it, Kuch. I love his work, the detail, the time it takes to make, like, not that is necessarily a huge factor, but like the amount of work that goes into his pieces. I'm very, very excited for that one. His recent auction, I believe it was on Sotheby's, was just an absolutely beautiful piece. So we've chatted a fair bit over the last few months about kind of his process and what goes into his work, and that's one I'm very, very excited about. Like King Xerox, like Camubus, like there's some huge pieces. That's just in the signature. Like Ryan Anderson, his work is always incredible. Gold Cat, like Alien Queen, that's going to be a phenomenal piece. Like, and like to think of like there's only 3 pieces to hold to get that one, and they're like Jack NFT is going to be huge. Tim Maxwell's work is phenomenal. Like the detail, and then obviously Macbeth's, like that's a no-brainer. It's going to be an incredible piece. And kind of going more on the limited, like Dominic G, he's become a huge part of the Discord since we kind of like brought him in as an artist, and he's like, I love the detail in his work. I have like a 101 on Super Rare. Very excited for that. Like, I think it goes without saying, Rip Cash is going to be insane.
Yeah.
I think we're not going to be able to do the on-chain because that's kind of reserved for his mints on his contract. But it'll still be a Rip Cash, and it'll be amazing. Jeremy Booth, like, there's not a single name on this list of artists that I'm not like Lip Comarella. His work, his original SR drops were some of the first pieces that kind of, when I first saw Super Rare, like it was like when I was kind of discovering NFTs, I was like through his work. So there's been, and like I was introduced to him through Shat, who has become like a huge and very like kind of like active collector in the group, as well as like Muju. Shat has been really good for like finding new artists and just like being like a good sounding board for like who we should include or who we should bring in and so on.
Shat's wallet is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane, and he doesn't sell anything; he just buys. It's insane.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. It's funny because like I went down like, I forget, like I was buying some 101s recently, and previous owners or all-time high kind of like buyer was Shat, and I was like, oh, okay, well, if Shat bought it, I'm definitely in good company.
Oh yeah, it's like almost, it's like every artist I find, I'm like, oh, this is a cool artist. Like it's like I wonder who else collects. It's always Shat. His name's always there as one of the early buyers. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm super stoked for totally gonna butcher this name, Nicholas Sassoon.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. That and Pixelful were two generative.
Yeah,
like they're gonna be really cool pieces. Nicholas Sassoon is one that like DeBirds was really big on, and he's one of the artists I haven't actually spoken to at all. It's always been through DeBirds, that's like I'm very excited for that. There's some like a few of our collectors are huge fans of his work and Pixelful, so that like they're two. It's like a style that we didn't see at all in year one, so I'm really excited to see that. And like Mendez, he's like another artist that is just like exploded and in popularity over the last few months. Like I think his open edition is like what people dream of their open edition being when they kind of release theirs, and his burn mechanics have been very thoughtful. His like every piece has been very, very well done. So
yeah, and we have our first photographer too this year.
Yeah, that'll be another really, really cool one. So it's like there's a lot to come.
Lineup.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really, really excited about it.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, like you said, you've like locked in some of these artists, and then they just kind of blow up after they've already been locked in. So like Mendez definitely has come into his own. Lacon's definitely getting bigger, and
it's like some of these you have to wonder where they'll be in a year. Like Gold Cat, like once when Gold Cat drops in a year in January, like that's gonna I think that's gonna be one of the most like sought after signature drops like at the time. Like I'm incredibly bullish on Gold Cat, and like it's just one of those ones I'm very, very, very excited about.
Yeah. Do you see before we kind of jump into the next section, do you for Grey Legion, do you see them like going back in like year 3 or?
Yeah, definitely. Like there's definitely that's the one that I like. We unfortunately like were like had to like replace, but I mean, like I'm a huge fan of her work, and I'm like if she's open, I would be very happy to work together in year 3 for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's kind of jump into this new kind of project that you guys are launching. I think you described it like as a PFP, but what is Degen Civilization? How did it come about? And
so like basically we started working on Degen Civilization back in like September was kind of when we started on the art and kind of the planning for it. So the general kind of overarchy, I guess overarchy is probably the wrong term, but like the like holistic view of it all is we're kind of finding a way to bring together like the typical like PFP DGens and the art collectors, and finding a way to kind of bring a benefit and exposure for both. So we're going to be next week we're kind of like sharing a lot more about the actual project and how everything's going to work. But in short, you'll be able to like you'll be earning a certain type of tokens for holding your DGens, and you'll be able to use those for claiming really, really cool art, and like from different artists across the NFT space, and other things. So Ryan Talbot did. She has 2 attributes in the collection. I'm really excited to share more. The art is incredible. The detail that Party Skulls has gone to, we have a wide variety of hoodies and onesies, and he had to rework all the mouths and the eyes so that they could line up accordingly and work with those. So there's it's like the amount that has gone in to this collection is insane. And we're very, very excited to share it. But yeah, we want to, like, we're really fine tuning, and that's what I was talking to Cribberat about, but we're fine tuning to make sure that whether you have 1 DGen or you have 100, you'll be able to take part in all the drops that we're doing and have a chance at winning, or like obtaining the art that we're going to be minting. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited to kind of share more as we get closer to our planned early April launch.
Yeah, no, the sneak peek got me kind of excited, like with Ryan and like having an attribute, and then it made me think about like how I'm sure you have other artists involved as well, and that's exciting. And I think you mentioned Party Skull, so like how did that kind of come about? Did you reach out to Party Skulls, or did how did that kind of form? And
Yeah, I've known Party Skulls for a while, like the Birds has as well, and his style is like when we were thinking about what we wanted to create, kind of to do like everyone loves frogs, it's like the DGen mascot, and we wanted to just do like something that we wanted an artist to kind of to run with it, but we wanted somebody that would put a lot of care into it as well, and like we knew Party Skulls would be a good fit. We approached him and asked if he would make a mock-up and go from there, and like he made 2, and we literally were like, perfect, like no revisions, that's our model, let's go. And then we've just been kind of creating attributes. Like in half an hour we're going to do another call, and we basically go through all the attributes and the rarity, and we're discussing rarity and kind of what, and like everything. So it's he's been incredible. I'll send you some full previews after this, so you can see what it looks like. We're really excited.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm pretty excited about it, and it's there's probably a lot of lessons too that you guys have picked up along the way, like from other PFP projects or other projects as a whole. And I fully trust kind of you guys both have the right heads on you to basically make it work.
Yeah, our big thing is we're not gonna overpromise a huge roadmap that we can't deliver on. Everything that we say we're gonna do, we're gonna do immediately. Like we're not gonna promise something that's coming in 6 months. Only things that we're gonna announce are gonna start right away. So we're gonna keep it simple, and we're just gonna deliver, and that's what we've always done. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot different selling like 4,200 NFTs at a low mint price versus 100 dog tags at 2 ETH, but I know we can do it, and I think the primary ends up being roughly similar, which is pretty funny. We're up for the challenge of minting 4,200 of these out.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic number too. Magical number. So what's kind of the best way to get the whitelist, or is there a whitelist, or how are you able to get Degen Civilization?
Yeah, so we're going to be So we're doing it a few different ways. So if you have a dog tag, you will get 5 free mints, plus you'll be whitelisted for 5 paid mints. And all whitelists are discounted to public. So we haven't firmed up on the exact price, but it will be well below 0.1. So yeah, we're keeping it. We're focusing. Our main focus is selling out, not like making a huge amount on primary. Like we want collectors that like. We want to bring in as many collectors as we can. So dog tags are the best way to get 10. If you have a bitter BEP, which is the token that we gave out for free to everyone who bid on our final dog tag, the one that went unclaimed a year ago, you'll be whitelisted for 2 mints. So that's a great way to get whitelisted for 2 mints. And then we have a bunch of partners that we're going to be launching next week. So you'll be seeing Degen Civilization throughout multiple partners, including Chimpers, Ghosts, and a bunch of other Discords. So be prepared for that. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we've really been trying to push the hype cycle as close to mint as possible, and just kind of push it in the final 2 weeks as much as possible. We're just gearing up. It's coming. It's fast approaching.
Yeah, it's coming up real quickly. And I know that we're also kind of at an hour, but I do have a couple quick ones if you still can hang around.
Yeah, no worries. As long as my AirPods don't die.
Okay.
I know they gave me the little ding that they're low on battery, but I think they're fine for now.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so thanks for kind of giving that breakdown on how to get the whitelist and all that. Definitely not going to hold you to the numbers or the price or anything of that nature. I know you guys are still figuring that out. Long term in the server, well, how do you see the breakdown then? Do you see like the breakdown in terms of like participating in either, server raffles or whatever there is, like, like participating on maybe unclaimed pieces or whatever? Do you see it as like, dog tags at the top and then Degen Civilization kind of as like the second wider net, or does the bitter BEP still kind of go above that, or are you still kind of trying to figure that all out?
We'll probably be switching. I hadn't really given a ton of thought to bitter BEP after this mint. I think it'll probably break down into I think anyone who's been in the Proof Discord it'll be very similar. The dog tags will still have their own section, their own priority. Everything Alphadoggg will always be prioritized to them. Everything Degen Civilization will be prioritized to Degen Civilization. So, if you're a Degen Civilization holder, I wouldn't expect to get leftover Alphadoggg drops. Those are still going to be prioritized for Alphadoggg holders, at least as in my initial thinking, because that's we always want to keep our goal is to keep things separate. There will be lots of fun things available for Degen Civilization holders, and everyone will be prioritized for in their own way.
Yeah. Okay.
But the Alphadoggg extra role will be probably replaced with the Degen Civilization holder, because we just don't want too many roles, too much complexity in the server. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, agreed. You're already handling the full set holder. I'm sure that one. I think you said you have to list out every single token every single time.
Yeah. Initially, it didn't work. Now it does. But initially it didn't work. I thought it was working properly, but it was not. So.
Yeah. Will Degen Civilization hit any public? Like, let's just say you lived under a rock, aren't a part of these communities, no bitter BEPs. Let's just, you're in Hawaii without internet and you show up, and will it actually hit public, like some number?
Yes. So our current plan is to release public alongside whitelist at a slightly higher price. So you'll get a discount if you're whitelisted, and you'll be encouraged to mint in the shorter whitelist period to get your discount and to get your mints. So
makes sense. We
will be having public because it just, even though it's only a 4,200 collection, we want to make sure that there is public availability for those who want it.
Awesome. Yeah, and definitely selling out will always be the
Yeah, selling out is the hardest thing in this market, and we want to make sure like every pre-mint could have different rates of success of people that actually mint, and we can't trust that 100% of winners are going to mint, but we also don't want to heavily over allocate, so we're finding a good balance of not of limiting the total number of whitelist, while allowing some public as well. So it's yeah, we're figuring out our launch as best we can, and we're hoping that the market does well over the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks leading up to it.
Yeah, does that kind of worry you a bit? You know, like launching, you know, like you mentioned earlier, you know, some artists kind of, I don't want to say disappeared, but definitely aren't dropping in the middle of the bear and all that. Does that concern you, dropping a project like this, kind of with everything that's happening today?
Well, I mean, like, it looks like the next few weeks could be very positive for crypto, and like we saw what happened in January. Like, these pumps can come out of nowhere. We're like, the art is solid. The roadmap is simple but solid. We're builders that have been around. The mint price will be low. The supply is low. We're doing everything that we feel is right to make sure that we have the best success in minting out, even in this market. So obviously, I couldn't be more nervous because it's the most important thing is selling out. No matter how good your project is, if you don't sell out, you're dead in the water. And we want to deliver for our holders. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that we are going to sell out.
Yeah. And this is ERC 7721, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So they're going to be on Blur.
They will be. And yeah, they will be on Blur. Yeah, so it'll be, yeah, we should hopefully see a lot of trading. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm getting anxious.
No, I bet, man. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's actually all I had. Appreciate you taking the time, man.
Anytime.